if you're feeling stuck in routine or just straight up bored of the life that you've created, and I guess that's the first step, it's the life that you've created, right? Obviously there's circumstances and stuff, but we as human beings are incredibly resourceful people, but we're also incredibly stubborn, and we have to have things in a certain way, and the way we tell ourselves these things is often what stays in our bodies, in our minds, and replays for years and decades, and it often leads to who we become, right? So what I'm talking about is not something that is a short quick fix. I mean, it is a short quick fix, but it takes time to see everything else change. But realistically, understand from a child's perspective, right? When a child is running around having fun and they fall, right? And I was thinking about my close friend's nephew. He was running around and he fell, but he will cry if he looks at you and you give attention to the fact that he fell, but he won't cry if you don't give that attention. If he sees that everyone is looking away and he doesn't catch that attention, he will not cry at all. He will shrug it off and move on. And this is unfortunately one of the things I'm seeing with everyone, like, well, not necessarily everyone, but everyone after a certain stage, is that we have this behavior to hold on to some kind of story, some kind of circumstance. And if you're one of these people, it's not a bad thing. You've developed like a strong habit, but now you just need to break it, because what's happening is we argue in the shower, we have these conversations with ourselves, we rehearse stories for how things are gonna go, and it never turns out exactly like that, but we contort our life to give us the least desirable outcome when we do that, and we squeeze precious like life energy out of moments just by, you know, getting irritated and rehearsing arguments, getting irritated, rehearsing a you know, an alibi for why this happened, and giving an explanation to a story, right? And obviously this could trace back to something in your childhood or whatever, but the thing is, we have this superpower as beings to, you know, fall and immediately get up and forget that anything happened and continue as if nothing. The fact that a child can fall and be hurt and look for attention to react, and then not find that and continue moving as if they were never hurt because they're not really hurt, is the perfect analogy for what we go through in our lives. People complain about their boss, people complain about their job, etc. They have this ongoing story, and I'm not trying to split like myself from everyone else, but like in the process that I'm in now, it's, you can change that. You can just stop yourself and say, hey, wait, no, like, you can use gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful way to get through it. Like, oh, I'm grateful to have had this opportunity. Okay, I'm late. I'm grateful I have the opportunity to, you know, gather my thoughts and just reflect on life. I know, oh, I'm in traffic. I'm in the standstill traffic for 15 minutes. Let me sit and let me just think about my day, my life, and the people around me. Let me be grateful, you know? Because that's all we're doing, right? We're these kids that are reacting to circumstance, and you need to be like that, like his nephew, who, if no one is looking, you just proceed as if nothing. Because the benefits that come from that is you don't waste any of that energy. You stay in a high vibration, right? You stay in a high level of thought. You're more expansive. You're more enjoying what the world has to offer, and you're not trying to take, and you're not trying to justify why you deserve more or why you need this. That is another thing I think, maybe from a school perspective, is there's a need for, I found that there was a need for myself to justify everything that I was doing, you know, or justify the reason why I am doing something that was already a human need, you know, like you're here doing XYZ and you're entitled to ABC. You don't need to explain why you are taking ABC, right? And that is all that it is. It is stories that we tell ourselves. It's creating justifications in our mind. For what? For what reason? There's something going on in your inner level where you feel the need to justify it because you feel like someone placed this thing above you, or someone placed certain things like that were genuine needs above you and made it feel like you needed to, you know, like if you're sick, you take a sick day. Like if you place school above your illness, or school above a sick day, school above your body, like recovering, then you're doing more harm than good to yourself in the long run, because now you are teaching yourself that the sickness requires, like, your body's rest requires less attention than school, right? Now, obviously, at certain points, I held this belief because, you know, like, I needed to get into a space. Like, I'm even saying I needed to. I didn't need to, but it felt strong that I needed to be in a position to, like, thrive in school. So missing a day because I was sick was, like, unheard of, you know? So really think about it. There's a lot of stories that we tell ourselves. There's a lot of excuses, and there's a lot of things that there's just, like, worth sifting into. And any growth, any positivity can only come from going into yourself and understanding that nothing is ever above you. Nothing is ever above your health, nothing is ever above you, nothing is ever above your mental health, nothing is ever above anything. You are the only person that can give yourself that kind of attention, right? You're the only person that can give yourself back that kind of energy and spirit, like, and really come back to giving yourself everything, right? That's what it is, because you're taking back all these things that we've effectively said now was placed on a pedestal above you. Whether you thought it was, you know, like, oh, I don't take a sick day, I kind of just have to work, there's no time. Right now, there's no time. You're putting that on a pedestal above you. When it comes to studying and so on, you're putting that on a pedestal above you. All of these things, it's pedestalizing things above you. You are the only thing that should be on the pedestal. And it's not narcissism. It's not anything else but actually self-care, you know? People talk about, like, oh no, you know, I'm gonna have this self-care routine. Like, that should be a must. That, like, why did we have, like, life orientation as a subject and not speak about how you need to have, like sometimes you need to just do some things or take some time to just reflect and just look at your life and, like, think about, you know, like, reframe it positively, or touch on, like, things that you've been going through and letting it go, and also just reframing it back to you're the only person that matters, because you are the only person that matters. None of this exists without you. If you know, it's like that if the tree fell down in a forest, would it make a sound? Like, you know, like, if you're not there to experience it, like, what is even going on, you know? Because from your perspective, you'll only experience what you're experiencing, right? It sounds so fucking straightforward, but straight up, like, you'll only experience that. And when you only experience what you are experiencing, like, when you only experience, like, when you understand that you're only, like, everything that you experience, only you will ever experience this, then you kind of like get a new lease on life, because you have the most unique perspective on the world, and this whole show doesn't run without you. So it doesn't matter about, you know, like, I need to get this thing done, da 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 da, because it doesn't happen without you. You can't get shouted at without being there. You can't get shouted at without existing, right? Now, what does that mean? Like, if you can't get shouted at without like being in a space, it means that like you are the actual, like, you are the focal point of your own reality, right? And it is not narcissism. It is just the fact that, like, you know, if you're not showing up to the day as your best self, or not even as your best self, if you're not just taking care of yourself, the entire reality that you experience is just going to be subpar, you know? And that's the deeper message. Yo, I'm like dying here. But the entire message is that your life needs you, and you need you to be together, to show up for yourself, because there's so much beautiful things in this world. There are so many beautiful things in this world to experience, to live through, to grow through, and even the negative things are like great to experience, because there's a positive thing on the other side that will make you appreciate that happened, right? Sometimes there's hard lessons you need to learn, but show up for yourself, so that if there are hard lessons for you to learn, you learn them. Like learn the lesson, you know? Be happy to learn the lesson. Be full of life. Like, don't give in to these like fake concepts that people like place around us, right? I don't know who people are, but like this whole idea of like lack of time, lack of money, lack of whatever. There's no rush. There's no anything. We are just en route to experience the life that like we've cultivated for ourselves, and it's slowly unfolding for you. Just dress up, be nice, be your best version of yourself, and experience that. Be open to experiencing that, because yeah, there's so much from life to just be had. In one day, your entire life can change. In one day, you can make a friendship, you can make a partnership, you could make, you know, like, you could find like the love of your life, whatever, just by showing up. It could be the worst day of your life. In 2 seconds, someone walks in and something will change. And that's even placing it on the outside. It could be the worst day of your life. 2 seconds, someone who walked in, who's always walked in, you get up and you make a decision to, you know, befriend this person, talk to this girl, whatever. Your life can completely change if you get up and do what you need to do. Like, I know it's just like, okay, it's a lot of words, but it's more the energy behind it. Show up for your life and understand that in every second, if you just remember that every second, every moment, a past you dies, like every second, every moment, you get to restart everything. You get to hit refresh and decide who you're going to be in every moment of the day. And if you're trying to make a prolonged difference, then you can repetitively decide to be the new person every moment, or every moment that you remember. You will progressively become more like that person. Then you understand what I'm trying to say is that you can change in every possible way at any stage in your life. It is never too late. It is never too, you know, like it's never like out of your reach. You just decide. You decide and you give it to yourself. Don't say, I want a Porsche, I want a Lamborghini, because now you're creating this thing that exists above you. Because it's like this other thing. I'm talking about babies today, but like this lady was saying, I want never gets, because I think the kids were just saying, I want. But that's the thing. Like, I want never gets. Don't say I want this. Don't say I want that. Don't say I need this. Exist where everything is taken care of for you already. Exist where you have more than enough, because you already do. You have a home. If you don't have a home, you have a friend that has a home. You know someone that has a home. You can find a way to do it. The world is so full of opportunities around you to help you get into a better space, right? Now, I'm blessed. I've got a lot, like, to be grateful for, but it is the same for a lot of people. And the thing is, it was always the same for me. I just did not realize it. Like, I don't know what it was. It's probably my fault, but I didn't realize how good it was, because I was focused on things external to me. I was pedestalizing everything other than myself. And you know what, like, I think the world can just benefit from pulling that, like, leveling out the playing field. The purse you want, the car you want, the house you want, all of that is below you. You are so unique and irreplaceable that those houses, those purses, those people, those crushes, like, they don't matter. That's the goal. That's what you need to understand. And within you resides something so divine and something so unique that cannot be replaced, that exists in a way that only you can experience. And when you start to show up for yourself, when you realize that, and just showing up for the ride, you know, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. You're a human. There's gonna be ups and downs, but there's so much to experience. And if you can show up for that, I'm telling you, like, life is such a beautiful thing to experience. Peace.